I'm gonna guess that this is probably within the tolerance because like I said, it hasn't blown up or killed me yet. So let's see. If you're new, you stumbled upon JTV Life and I'm your host, Jason. I'm not gonna beg for it now, but if you do find an inkling of value in this video, please consider subscribing so that way we can do it again. My hot sauce is just about ready, aging, and kind of what I do. If you guys wanna check out the video, right up here, I'll leave a card for the video where I first blended these and kind of taught y'all how I do my little mash. Once I shake it around and all I hear is just the seeds left in there and most of the pulp is dissolved into the vinegar, I know it's time to bottle. So that's what we're getting into today. Bottling, I think, is probably the most important step because really that's what's gonna make the flavor profile stay. It's what's gonna make it have a longer shelf life. Nice bottle's gonna make it present well as a gift or something you wanna sell. And using a pH meter, like I'm gonna show you all how to do, is gonna also ensure that it's food safe so that way you don't get everyone sick, including yourself, because I consume, I don't even know, probably about a quart of this a week. The food meter we're gonna be using today, I picked it up on Amazon for like 30 bucks. It really wasn't a bad deal, even though it kind of took me like years to really spring on the investment. I got a link in the description below. I also made an unboxing video and a short video on how to sort of calibrate it. It's definitely something you're gonna wanna do when you first get it. All you really do is just rinse it off and then dry the end off with a little terry cloth they give you. Turn it on, stick it in, and you can see what your pH is. Before we can get started doing anything though, we do wanna prep our bottles. And this is just a bottle that I kept from a hot sauce that I had purchased somewhere. Actually, the sticker was still on the bottom, $6. Pretty funny because I'm having hot sauce all summer long for only $6. Gotta put in that work, boy, but it pays off. It's called a Woozy bottle, and you can purchase these on Amazon, Uline if you wanna do a bigger batch. But they work out to about 80 cents a pop, and then depending on where you get them, they sell this little shaker cap separately, and they sell this cap separately along with the shrink wrap and the label. So I will say if you are going to purchase these online, either buy them all together or just know that you're going to get yanked on these if you get a good bottle on the bottles.
What he said at the end of that sentence, I don't think he knows what he said either.
Uline's the best place that had them. But in this case, we just washed this one off. I just use hot water. I don't want to use any sort of soap because it could be a futile effort unless you have a bottle rinser to get all the soap out of this bottle. Depending on what kind of soap you use, it could leave behind some off flavors, so I'm just not about that life. And it's gonna go into some bleach anyways. So now we're gonna make a solution. I do 1/2 gallon to 2 teaspoons of bleach. This is kind of stiff, but that's because I'm only just doing one bottle. So I only got to leave it in there for about 15 to 20 seconds. Whenever you're trying to kind of disinfect or sanitize with chlorine, it's all about the dilution ratio and contact time. So I can't really tell you specifically about yours because all bleaches are different percentages and stuff. But better more than less. If I was doing a large batch of this, I would do a lot less chlorine. I'd maybe do 1 tablespoon per gallon and then soak a bunch in there for a minute or two. And at this dilution, you can let it air dry on the counter and not have to worry about rinsing it. So that'll save you some time if you're doing a lot. But with just one, this kind of got the job done. Also sanitizing your area. I always keep a little spray bottle with some pre-made bleach solution. Spray it all over everything. And then let it sit for about 2 minutes so it can do its thing. Dry it up. That way, everything that we're working around is nice and clean. Spray bottle also comes in handy to sanitize things like our strainer, which we're going to be using to get the pulp and seeds out. And a little container that we're just going to strain it into. Before we put it in the bottle, we will go ahead and pH test it. And like I said, there are a lot of reasons why you want to do this. Mostly because of food safety, you want to make sure it's below 4.6, which shouldn't really be that hard to achieve, especially if you're adding any amount of vinegar to it. I want to say the pH for a 6% white vinegar is somewhere like in the 2 range. That'll significantly reduce it, especially if you're doing 2-3 parts vinegar to 1 part pepper. But this is definitely a good way to double check that. Also, if you know the pH, see the pH affects the flavor a lot. So if you know what the specific pH of your hot sauce is when you like it, that'll be one of your steps of replicating it on the backside to kind of get that same agedness or flavorness that you really enjoyed. So this will be another way to keep it consistent. Fermented hot sauces, we're typically going to end up with a pH between 3.0 and 4.0. And the reason is these bacteria, they actually consume the sugars inside the peppers, and these bacteria end up turning that sugar into lactic acid, which kind of lowers the pH, helps preserve it, and also gives it kind of that signature tangy flavor. As long as you achieve this pH, you're gonna see a shelf life of at least 6 months, especially if you seal it up really good and prepare it in these sanitary conditions that I'm showing you. You could, if you store it properly, get up to 2 years, but of course, just don't go blindly shaking this on your rice. Give it a little sniff. People have been doing this for thousands of years. That's why in my first video, I kind of shit on this method, but I was like, whatever, you know, I kind of want to live that good life and do it all food safe too, in case I do want to scale this up. So for my own science, I'm kind of getting in the game, but at home, I mean, this is ancient medicine, guys. Fermentation of the peppers encourages the growth of probiotics, which kind of boosts gut health. That's always a good thing. Improved gut health will actually help your body absorb nutrients sort of more readily. So these are some really good benefits of something that can turn kind of crap cheap food into something very tasty, guys. So we're not just making a condiment, we are making medicine here. All right, moment of truth. Let's see where we is. You're supposed to stir it around while you're doing it. All right. So we're about 3.8. So we're kind of on the upper end of the acceptable scale for a fermented, but definitely well below that 4.6 that's recommended by the USDA. So we are good to go. This part's pretty straightforward, guys. Everything is all in the prep. We got our bottle ready. We're gonna go ahead and strain our peppers through our strainer that we sanitized earlier, so that way everything stays clean. We wanna strain it into something that's gonna be non-reactionary, basically not metal. We wanna use something plastic. I don't really know the science behind it. Maybe I'll get back to that in another video. But we'll drain it into some plastic, and then I don't have a funnel, so that little souffle cup that I kept it in, I swear these things are like the zip ties of the kitchen. I just rinse that out, and then I'm gonna pour the drained hot sauce into this and then use that to get into the bottle neck really easily. I reuse these things because, I mean, a lot of people say if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. I say if it don't save money, it's probably fucking trashing the planet. So that's just me personally. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also use the help of a spoon to kind of mash down that pulp a little bit to get every last little bit of that sauce out of there. Also, I kind of want to get this pulp as dry as I can because I'm going to be putting it into my food dehydrator to make some great sort of crushed pepper that you can sprinkle on top of stuff. So guys, I mean, this is just non-stop, homemade, medicinal spices, dude. Make sure you subscribe, please, guys. I'm trying to build this channel, and kind of the more money I get from you guys watching, the more cool stuff I'll be able to do. I guess that's sort of the deal. And it don't cost you jack to just put my videos on in the background. So if you could do that for me, I'd really appreciate it. So here we are. Final product, guys. This is a homegrown Tabasco sauce off from a pepper that I have growing inside of a utility sink in front of my house. It took about 6 weeks to get to this point. I fermented it in a 3% salt mash, which I created, did right inside that souffle cup. And then I added, I want to say, 2 parts vinegar. You'll have to watch the video. That's why I make them. It's partly for me.
I came down because I heard there was chocolate chip ice cream.
Of vinegar to this. So it's a little bit more, I believe, richer than a Tabasco would be. And I gotta say, from some of my other sauces I created, it's really held together very nicely. And I don't know if maybe Tabasco has that sort of quality, but I'll check in as this one ages. And just in case you want to hop in the Wayback Machine with me, this is a batch. This was my first batch of fermented habanero sauce that I made, I don't even know, probably 6 months ago. I got about 10 of these 5-ounce containers out of 2 pounds of peppers. And I just store them right back in these souffle cups, and then I just refill, because this is the same exact amount that one of those Woozy bottles hold. As soon as it gets empty, top her right off. So I've never checked the pH on this. Let's check this out. I'm gonna guess that this is probably within the tolerance because, like I said, it hasn't blown up or killed me yet. So let's see. Yeah, boy, look at that. 3.31. Thanks a lot for coming by, guys. I hope you did enjoy this video. And I hope you're out there getting some hot sauces going of your own, or maybe thinking about what you're gonna plant next year. Make sure you subscribe. I'm kind of doing a little side video series on my daddle peppers that I'm growing out back. I actually just made a pretty sweet little off-grid automated water / feeder system for them. Kind of bought some really cheap Amazon products, so make sure you hit your notification bell so that way check that video out when it comes. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you next time.
Peace. By the way, I have a whole refrigerator full upstairs. I think I'm kidding. I'm not. God.